Okay, getting down to the nitty gritty of the mastering process. So we've got our mastering track down here, or our master track. So basically a master track is the summation of all the tracks combined, how it comes out as its master output. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off by EQing our master track. Now, I always start in the same way as I always do, well, in mastering anyway, with filtering out the low frequencies. So the same process as I applied before, I'm going to go to the most bass heavy part of my track, which is the drop here, and I'm going to play from there. And I'm just going to filter, pump the I guess the filter up as high, so it's a bit ridiculous, and then work its way back till it starts to sound normal, just like I did before in the EQ process. So it's good practice to scoop out a lot of the bottom end you can get away with basically without affecting the track, because this is like your muddiness, and depending on the type of speakers you've got, it can actually, I guess, negatively affect your track, and it becomes a bit muddy, a bit boomy and things like that. So you want to filter out as much as you can without it becoming too noticeable. So that's the first step. What I'm going to do is just have a look at the wave spectrum. So I'm just going to play that from the same spot again. Okay, I'm going to boost this just a tiny bit because I want to accentuate that bass frequency there. And this section's also lacking a little bit. So that's probably got enough. So I'm going to bring that one down a little bit just to make up for what I've boosted here. So I'm just going to bring these kind of low mid frequencies down a tad just to compensate for the boost I've given here. Now, these mid-range frequencies are a little low, so I'm just going to give those a little bit more, but just subtly, not a lot. Alright, and as you can see at the end, there's not a lot of highs in there, so what I'm going to do is just move this right to the very end and just give the highs a little bit of a boost, just to compensate for the lack of high frequencies that are going on in the spectrum there. Now, as per usual, I always listen to A and B, I guess so. Test one, then turn it off and see if it sounds better or worse. Now, I did listen to it, and I noticed I like the bottom end a bit more in the original, so I'm just going to turn that one down a little bit more there, and just make sure I've got enough bottom end in there for my liking. Now I'm happy with that because I got enough bottom in, but now this area here becomes a lot brighter and stands out a lot more. So I think that's a good balance between the frequencies. So I want you to go back and just, I want you to go now and apply an EQ to your master track and have a listen to how you can enhance the overall mix using an EQ, and kind of, same deal, filtering out some of the frequencies, looking at the parts of the track that need to be accentuated and the parts of the tracks that need to be cut to make your track sound nice and balanced and ready for the master.